All right, so we've made tables, we've made queries, made relationships, we've learned a lot about these pieces, but now it's really time to dive into forms and reports. We're going to start with reports because they're easier. And reports are really great for reporting things, printing things out, sending PDFs off, all those kinds of things, and really just looking at data pretty quickly. So there's multiple report views that you can go into, and there's multiple differences you can make in a report. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a client financial report. So we're going to go to the create tab, and we're just going to use the report wizard to create this one, just to practice with that report wizard again. We are going to base it off the client's table. We're going to include pretty much everything: client number, client name, the client type, the amount paid, current due total amount, the contract hours year to date, and the BA number. So everything but their address and their services needed. And then we're going to go ahead and hit next. And we are not going to have any sorting or grouping occurring. So right now you can see it's grouping by BA number by default. We can remove that by clicking this back arrow, and then there's no grouping occurring. Then we can go ahead and hit next. And we don't want anything sorted either. We're just going to leave it the way that it would come from the table. And we are going to leave it in the default settings as well, except we're going to flip it to landscape mode because we have a lot of fields that we're going to be including. So we want to be able to fit those all on the page. And then we're going to go ahead and name this client financial report. And we'll preview the report instead of going into the design view, and click finish. All right, so that's going to make this report right here. Now this is looking pretty good. And what I want to show you is there's so many options, but the first thing is that you're always started in print preview mode when you go to preview the report. So this is what it would look like if you printed it or turned it into a PDF. So what we want to do is edit this, obviously, because we can't read some of these labels, and we're actually going to make some more changes to learn about the different options you have within a report. So we're going to click close print preview here, and that will default you to design view. Now this is a very, very deep view of the report. So what I want to show you, which I think is important, is there are these different sections in here. So report header here is at the top, and then you have a page header, which are your field names. So you can see those are the headers for the field names. And then you have a detail section. But if you recall the detail section, if we go back to report view, note that the client number, the name, the client type, and all those kinds of things, this is where the record information is going to show, but there's only one showing right here. But when we go to report view, we have a bunch of clients with a bunch of names, with a bunch of types and all these things. So when you're in this design view, going back to design view, you'll note that like this is the header, these are the labels, this is the detail, and then down at the bottom is the footer. So if I go to design view, I've got the header, the page header, which are those labels, the detail, which is every record, and that repeats for every record. So whatever change I make here will repeat for each record, and then I have a page footer. I can even add a report footer here, but what's important to note is that this detail section is the repeating record information. So just something to kind of keep in mind in this design view when we come back. The easiest way to edit this, though, is in this layout view. This is actually in the past 2 versions of Access, they've added this layout view, and it's great because it shows you what it's going to look like and you can make changes. So for instance, we can grab the client number and hold shift and grab the label up at the top and make that column quite a bit shorter, or in width-wise, or quite a bit smaller, and then grab like the name. We can drag that over here to give more space over here for all of these options. So that way we can change our labels and be able to read them all when we get into the full view. Because if you recall over here, you can't really read a lot of these labels. So I'm just adjusting a column that didn't need to be as wide. And now I'm at my contract hours year to date. So I'm going to go ahead and expand that and drag it over a little bit because I want to make BA number larger. And actually, it looks like I need to make even more space, which is fine. And we're just literally adjusting the widths of these, dragging them across, giving more space on the side so that we can see all of our heading labels, our field number, or field labels, and everything like that inside of here. Okay, so now that I have everything and it's all showing, I think I'm pretty ready to start really adjusting this client financial report and adding in the pieces that I want.